What's up, you hooligans? Welcome back. Doing something a little different today. It's not a car project, it's not a house project. We are making bacon. Making bacon.
It's go time. Tick, tick, boom.
Get to work.
So, I got two ways to do this. I'm trying a new method today. Typically, I do a dry cure, but I got a recipe for a wet cure for maple bacon, so we're going to try that today. But I'm going to walk you through what I normally would do. I started recently making my own bacon, and it's way better than store-bought. So, first thing you need is a big pork belly. Get whatever size you think you can handle. This one is almost 9 pounds. I get them at the wholesale store. You can get them at the butcher shop if you need a little bit smaller one. I think Costco sells them smaller. This one comes with the skin off. So if you're going to do bacon, you want the skin off. You can use the skin for cracklings or whatever. But I usually get the one where I get them, typically skin off. So first things first, you got to have a bag. So I like the Food Saver bags. They seal up real nice. You can use a gallon Ziploc bag. A gallon Ziploc will hold up to about a 3 pound with the cure in it. The other thing is this takes some time. So it's got a cure for at least 7 days in the fridge, turning every day, and then you smoke it, and then you can cook it. I like to do the cure for at least 7 days, rinse it, and then let it sit in the fridge and dry for a couple of days. I've had personally better luck with that. But people say the smoke sticks better when you leave it wet. So first things first, we'll cut this open, rinse all of this nasty juice and brine and stuff from the store off of it. We'll get it on the cutting board and we'll powder dry. You're gonna need tons of paper towels. So I'll leave a card at the end of this. You guys can pause at the end and save the recipes that I'm using and see if you like them. We'll go from there. So first things first, let's get this baby cut open and washed off. So here I got my sink. Made sure and clean the sink really well. We'll cut this open. Always a sharp knife helps. If you don't know how to sharpen a knife, your dad didn't teach you right. So we'll put that in there. And then I'll use cold water. Mostly we're just trying to get all that nasty brine off. A little bit of silver skin here. Peel that off so the cure can get at the meat. Looks like I got this one that still has the skin on it. All right, rinse that off real good. So now we'll lay this out on the cutting board. It does look like the one that I got still has the skin on it. So all right, there we go. So, tried to leave as much fat on there as I could, just get the skin off. This one came in at about 9 pounds. I'm just gonna half it by eye. We're looking for volume. So half by volume. So there you go, look at that. Nice and meaty. A good solid cut. It's beautiful. So now we got these. I'm gonna use a ton of paper towels and pat these babies dry. All right, patted dry. They're not too dry. So first, I'm gonna do my wet brine. So for this one, it actually uses less of this, the Prague powder. This is the actual cure. This is what helps pull the moisture out of the meat. For 4 pounds, I need about a teaspoon of Prague powder. And this is different than Himalayan pink salt. This is curing salt. I'm gonna need 3 tablespoons. No, 3 teaspoons, which is a tablespoon, of pink salt. I use the Himalayan pink salt. If you use kosher salt, you have to double it. It's not as salty. This one gets 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Yes, I know that's not how you measure brown sugar. Just use feeling.
Just use feeling.
Okay, 3/4 a cup of maple syrup. And then I'm not about to waste any of that goodness because I got the real maple syrup. We're gonna add a cup of distilled or very purified water. The quality of your water matters. Use all that mapley goodness. Okay. That's our wet brine. So we'll mix this up really well. We want the salt and the sugars to get dissolved in there. And when we're all the way mixed, we add our meat. So the key here is going to be to make sure that this solution gets on all the meat every which way, which again is why I like the vacuum sealer bags. So we'll do that. All right. So there is our wet brine. Clean this up. Just like that. So now that'll sit in the fridge for 7 days. Now, we're going to do our dry brine. So for this one, I'm going to use the Kinder's Bourbon Peach. Look at that, brand new. For the dry brine, it actually uses more of the Prague powder. So for this, you use about a teaspoon of Prague powder per pound of meat. So 1, to rub that in on this side. And for this, totally I do it just like ribs. Get it in all the cracks and crevices. This one has plenty of salt in it for the cure. This one's got brown sugar in it, some dehydrated onion. It's got all the things. Okay. Nice juicy coating on that side. We'll flip it over. 2 more of these. Make sure we rub that in. Spilt a little bit on the cutting board there, so we'll do that. And again, just like your ribs, a nice healthy coating on there. Try and get all the sides. This is going to pull the moisture out. So again, into the food saver bag. I didn't plan ahead. All right, meat in the bag. All right. So we'll take this to the sink, clean up our workspace. Now, just like this will pull the moisture out and you'll end up with not quite this much water in the bag, but it pulls all the moisture out of the meat. However, I happen to have, and I know this isn't bourbon, but I have this to add some extra flavor. So, for those of you worried about alcohol and it getting in the meat or anything like that, consuming alcohol, this will cook out. So the flavor will remain, but the alcohol cooks out. Put just a little splash of that, and then we'll get this in the vacuum sealer. All right. So then normally I would mark these with the flavor, but pretty easy to tell the difference between a wet cured maple and a dry cured bourbon peach. So these are going to go in the fridge. I usually stick them in the middle freezer drawer. They're going to sit for 7 days. You got to turn them every day. Don't forget to turn them. So if you're a breakfast person or night person or whatever, put them where you'll see them just once a day. Flip them. That helps make sure that all the juices that get pulled out that are sitting on the bottom, you flip it, those juices are going to run, get on all the sides of the meat, get the flavor in all the places, get the cure in all the places. So there we go, into the fridge. All right, guys, so it's been about a week. And now it's time for us to smoke that bacon, get it nice and flavorful. So I just use my barbecue grill. It's just a propane grill, but what I do, I got a foil pan, and I'll show you. I'll bring you over here. So I got my foil pan, and I'll put down one nice even layer of charcoal, a little bit thick. What I've been using this stuff from, I guess it's Expert Grill. I don't know. I get these at Walmart. They seem to work pretty good, but the charcoal briquettes have applewood mixed into them. So you look real close, you can see there's applewood stuff in there. So they make a real nice smoke. So I'll start with these. I get this layer going. And then once the flame dies out and these go down to just smoking, I'll take those briquettes and I'll put another layer of briquettes over the top. Or what I'll do is get some of these. I also got these at the Walmart. And I'll put those over the top and let it make some smoke. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll go first layer with the lighter fluid, get it going. Second layer, charcoal briquettes. Third layer, apple chunks. And just keep the smoke rolling. So the other thing I'll do is I got a pretty decent thermometer. It's a little rusty, but it works good. Temperature is pretty close to accurate. So in order to get this whole thing up to about 200, 220, I'll actually light the burner down there and then use these two burners to adjust the heat, keep the meat over on this side, and that way it just gets the heat and the smoke. So let me set you up and we'll get this going. So see what I mean? Like with the lighter fluid, you get the big flame to begin with. I got the two burners down here. We'll cook that lighter fluid off. So while this is getting warmed up, we'll go prep our bacon. All right, so here's our 2 packs of bacon. These have been sitting for 8 days now. Flip them every day. I took these out of the fridge a little bit ago so that they're closer to room temperature. So next step is to unbag them. Wash all the extra salt and the cure off of them, all of that extra gunk. Get them nice and clean. And then I use these cookie racks for cooling cookies. They nest together really nicely like this and they fit perfectly on my grill. And then these 2 pieces of meat just sit right on there. The other thing we're going to need is the meat thermometer. So we'll find the thickest spot in the both of these, plug that meat thermometer in there, and we'll keep an eye on them till they get to 150 internal. That's when we pull them off, get them in the fridge as quick as we can. So because this one looks like it's leaking a little bit, we'll start with this one. We'll do that one, get them clean. We'll get them patted dry. Let me get a cutting board. This will work real nice for the pat. And a bunch of paper towels. All right, so first things first, I washed the sink really good. I'm gonna cut the corner off the bag. And let the most of it out. So because we did this one with the dry cure, you can see there's not near as much liquid in there. You can definitely smell the bourbon on that. Leave that right there. All right. Moisture off of this. Like I said before, some guys like to leave the moisture on there. They say the smoke sticks better. This is just my preference. And usually what I'll do is I'll put this on the cookie rack and let it sit in the fridge for about 3 days and really get the surface nice and dry. So that goes on here. I do it fat side up. And then however this is, when you put it into the smoke, that's how your bacon's gonna come out. So we'll do that one. And we got this one. So you can see what I mean. Look at that smoke rolling. Just like that, we'll go get our bacon. All right. Actually, I'm gonna do it this way. So then this will go in the thickest part of the meat here. Plug this in. All right, so you can see I got my temperature alarm set for 150. Currently at 72. We got the smoke rolling. The bacon's all set. We'll let this get up to 200, 225 on my grill. This burner at like third power, half power almost. This one at low power, these two off with the charcoal going. That gets us there. So this will come up to about 200, 225. About every half hour I'll come out and check on it until we get up to 150. Okay? Oh yeah, guys, look at that smoke rolling. So it's been about 15 minutes. Come to check. We're sitting right at 200. Well, if you get lined up right, it's just under 200. So I adjust the burner. We'll turn this heat up just a hair. Get this just above 200. Like I said, 200, 225, something like that. Usually ends up being about a 3-hour smoke. But since we got good smoke rolling, we're just gonna let her cook. All right, guys. So we're sitting at about 3 hours since we started the smoke. I got these coals that are going. This is getting a little bit too hot. So when I put the wood on there, it almost turns it to flame. So I'm calling it with the smoke. Looks like we got a nice color on there, but we're only sitting at 126. So I'm gonna crank the heat up just a little bit. We'll run this closer to 250. We'll give it another 20 minutes or so and see where we're at. All right, guys, this is getting ridiculous. So I'm gonna try another meat thermometer because I'm questioning my other one. All right, now it says 140. Just a second ago, that sucker right there said 150. Let's try it over here. Maybe it's cooling down because I got the lid open, but
I know that said 150. Oof.
All right, guys. Whew. So my probe is saying it's 127. When I put the meat thermometer in here, it's actually reading like 150. So I think my probe is just messed up. Because that it's measuring, well, it's still climbing. Yeah. So we're going to call it. I'm going to say my probe is not working right. These have been on here for about 5 hours at 225. So we'll take these off. Now we got to get these cooled down reasonably as quick as we can. So we'll take this inside and get these bagged up. All right, so it's been like 6 hours. These have been on the smoke at 225. I turned it up to 250 there towards the end. We got these up to 150 internal. I was waiting for my remote thermometer to get there, and it kept telling me 130. And then I went out there with the actual meat thermometer and plugged that in there, and that was giving me 150. So I'm going to blame the remote thermometer and call these 150. So next thing we got to do is get these back in the fridge and cool them down reasonably as quick as we can. So I like using the food saver bags. It keeps the meat nice for longer. So scoop these up, get them in a bag. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna suck these down on the food saver. All right, we're gonna load these in the freezer drawer, get them cooled down. We'll be back in the morning. All right, guys, next morning, bacon's set up real nice. Let's get her out of here and get a sample off of this. So, best part about doing your own bacon is you can cut it however thick you like it. Look at that bacon. Doesn't that just look amazing? Get a couple samples in the pan. I think I'm going to cut up some more and we'll make a little bit of hash out of this. All right, wife, honest reaction.
I could eat more.
Are you going to save me some?
Mm-mm.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Scale 1 to 10.
Hang on. It's pretty good. It's like it's probably some of the best bacon I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried it?
Yeah. It's good, huh?
It's so good.